I love this. NBA Media Day for the Golden State Warriors has come and gone, and it was jam-packed with highlights and quotes from your favorite players, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and many, many more. It's your full 2025 Warriors Media Day breakdown right here on Warriors Digest. What's going on, everybody? I'm Houston Bo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and if there's ever been a video on the channel that you've watched from start to finish, today would be that day because we have so much news coming out from NBA Media Day for the Golden State Warriors yesterday. And before we get into all that, just a quick reminder for you guys to hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way for you guys to support us on the channel, and also a great reminder for you guys to never miss out on a video. Touched on this on a video this morning, 36 hours away from the qualifying offer deadline for Jonathan Kuminga to be signed. But that's not what we're talking about today. We've talked about him enough on the channel, and I'm sure we will be moving forward as well. But today it's full Warriors Media Day, exciting action. The first quote I want to look at is this exciting quote from Jimmy Butler, the understanding of what it's going to be like having a full season with Steph Curry. You don't even need to be on this team to understand the impact that Curry has on the game and the league as a whole. This is Jimmy Butler speaking. He says, you always have a chance when Steph is on your team. So to be able to run alongside him, Draymond and the crew that we have, I think we're going to be in a really, really good shape. I think everybody knows what we're capable of, so we're ready to rock. Jimmy Butler's always been a guy. He's had Media Day shenanigans over the past couple of years. The long hair, the braids at one point. This year, no, he looked locked in. There's always going to be the goofiness with him and Buddy Hield, the most entertaining duo in the NBA from a media standpoint, from an off-the-court standpoint, and then on the court when they play well together, it is absolutely electric. But you love to see Jimmy Butler, first things first, him being excited about the opportunity to have a full year with Steph because of the impact that he makes on the floor. Such a leader is Steph Curry. Number two, Draymond Green, when talking about the potential to have a 10th all-defensive team selection. He said, it would mean the world to me. That's my motivation to go and try to make another all-defensive team and join that list. It is an absolute elite list of people, the opportunity to get to a 10th all-defensive team selection. The only guys that have ever done that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, and Tim Duncan. And Kobe being in there, I tell you what, that is impressive. What a great... Kobe's always kind of been mocked for the way that he played defense. He was a fantastic defender, but the ball hogging, that narrative kind of gets in the way. But Kobe was an excellent defender. Kareem, Scottie, Kevin, Tim Duncan, the chance for Draymond to be a part of that list. I mean, those are all first ballot Hall of Famers, as should Draymond Green be as well. Draymond Green, even in this age that he's at currently, going to be a fantastic defender once again. Saw it even at the end of last year. I said, he was close to winning that Defensive Player of the Year award. I'm sure he'll be on the top of his game once more this year. From Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, I should say. Steph talked about the upcoming potential for the season and what it's like from his standpoint at 37 to be able to load himself up for another year and how to remain productive at this point in his career. He says the work he put in, the love of the game, being around great people in this organization, still keeping winning as the priority. Steph said he just feels blessed to still hopefully be in the situation for a couple more years. And then moving on to talking about Jonathan Kuminga, Steph, Dre, Jimmy, all the veterans were specifically asked about this, and Steph kind of brushed it to the side and said, I don't want to hear from Aaron Turner. I have no interest in hearing from Kuminga's agent, Aaron Turner. He said Kuminga can speak for himself. And when Kuminga is here, he didn't say if. He didn't say, if it finds a way to work out, if we get resolution. No, he said when he's here, when Jonathan Kuminga is on campus working out with the Golden State Warriors ready for the 2025 season. He says when he's here, he'll be ready to work, and we expect him to be locked in on doing what he needs to do to help us to win. And I absolutely can't wait to see if Jonathan Kuminga does return. I'm still on the if train. I'm not entirely sure how the situation is going to be resolved, but if or when Jonathan Kuminga returns, I'm excited to see how the leadership handles this situation that has been lingering for so long. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, the veterans, no doubt going to lead us into the next phase of what this organization is going to look like with hopefully a rejuvenated Jonathan Kuminga. So, we had these guys speak at Media Day. We had reports coming out from Draymond Green, of course, about his potential to be a defensive menace once again for the upcoming season. We heard a little bit from Buddy Hield, which we'll get to. Moses Moody looking to have another leap this year. We talked about that a couple weeks ago in a video. He looks good in his offseason workouts. Jonathan Kuminga, notably absent. DeAnthony Melton, Al Horford, also absent as well. And that hurts because you'd love to have those guys around for Media Day, especially with the exciting anticipation for the upcoming season. And this, another thing we'll talk about at the end of the video, the upcoming schedule for October for the Golden State Warriors. So, we also saw that there's a great optimism from Brandin Podziemski and from the team about what they did post All-Star break, having relatively the same group of guys and seeing what we can do for a full season. And I think that's really important to note, the fact that we still haven't seen this unit be able to be together for a whole year. And there were a little bit of injuries. Brandin Podziemski had 2 surgeries this offseason. And now getting the opportunity to see if this team can stay healthy, as Jimmy Butler said, if this team can stay healthy, the potential for what this team can accomplish is through the roof. I think this team has one of the highest ceilings in the NBA, but it also has a pretty low floor because of the potential for injuries and the veterans having to set out load management, all that type of stuff. So I do think the opportunities for this team are through the roof, but I also think it can become scary if there are injuries involved. But as Brandin Podziemski said, if we stay healthy, the way that they were competing, the production levels towards the end of the season were through the roof. Pat Spencer, welcome back to the team, lacrosse legend, and he is back for another year with the Warriors on a 2-way contract, and he talked about what he wants to do, develop his game for the upcoming season even more. He said, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. Last year, Pat's role, he's right, was more of a spark plug. He came off the bench, and we needed energy, and he did a great job of that, even a little bit in the playoffs as well. The goal for him this offseason was to knock down the 3 ball at a really high level. He says he thinks it'll make him more versatile and allow him to play with a handful of different lineups. Randy touched on this yesterday as well. Pat Spencer is a guy that you think, man, he has the potential to be a very, very solid backup point guard in this league. His size is a little bit of an issue, but there's been guys over the years that have been fantastic backup point guards at his size. You look at a guy like Facundo Campazzo, other JJ Barea, those types of guys in the world that JJ was actually a starter and a contributor for the 2011 finals with the Dallas Mavericks, of course, the Dirk Nowitzki run, fantastic. But there are guys like him who are so smart, and if they can find a way to shoot the 3 ball consistently, if Pat Spencer can do that, I do think that 2-way position could possibly move into him being even more of a Brandin Podziemski role, a guy that fills in on that backup point guard position on nights where Steph has to sit. If he can come in and be heavily efficient for what we need him to be, I think Pat Spencer could 100% be an impact player for the upcoming season. Monty Poole, Jonathan Kuminga was nowhere and everywhere, and this is the ultimate culmination was media day of this situation. Maybe not the ultimate culmination, because when he ultimately signs a deal, then yes, that will be the culmination of everything that's happened over the last several months. But I think this does a very good job of describing what we've seen over the last several months. Jonathan Kuminga was nowhere and everywhere. And by saying that, we mean that Jonathan Kuminga was not present at media day. He was nowhere to be found, probably working out somewhere, having a conversation with Aaron Turner as there's just a couple days left before he has to sign the qualifying offer, figuring out exactly what he wants to do. But he was nowhere, but he was everywhere, because he was looming in everybody's brains all day. You're just sitting there as a player wondering, am I going to get a Jonathan Kuminga situation? Are they going to ask me about JK? And the guys that were handled it perfectly. Quinten Post had a great quote, as did Steph Curry, as did Draymond Green, saying, hey, we're not going to talk a whole lot about that situation, but what I can tell you is when he's here, he'll be ready to work, and it's showtime. It's go time for this Warriors team, which is really encouraging. I don't think there's a situation like this that could have been handled better than the Warriors handled it. Obviously, you'd love to have Steve Kerr. You'd love to have Mike Dunleavy Jr. You'd love to have those guys speak at media day because it's the GM and head coach of your team. But I do like that they didn't address it to a point where it was becoming the only thing talked about at media day. And also the younger guys and the veterans did a very good job of when they did address it. It was a, hey, we understand that they're going to get it figured out. They've got it covered. I don't want to speak on that. I thought they did a great job of that. You also saw from Dalton Johnson, Draymond said, yeah, I mean, hey, it sucked. It sucked not having Jonathan Kuminga and others, Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton at Warriors Media Day. As you approach the season, you want to build that camaraderie as much as possible, which is why the Warriors did that mini camp hosted by Jimmy Butler. Obviously, it felt like it was mandatory and everyone was there except for Jonathan Kuminga because, of course, he's still in the weeds trying to figure out the contract situation. And at Warriors Media Day, he later said that he wants JK on the Warriors and teammates understand the business side of this. So Draymond, Steph, Jimmy, the veterans on this team, they understand the contract side of it. They understand that this is a business at the end of the day. So Jonathan Kuminga has to do whatever he can to prioritize making enough money to be comfortable. And so, I mean, when you're making millions of dollars, anything like that should be comfortable, but comfortable from a sense of Jonathan Kuminga looks down the line and he says, okay, my career is not in jeopardy. My career is in the position where I want it to be. So I understand where he's coming from. There are obviously a little bit of frustrations. You'd like to be a little bit more transparent about it, but we've also never seen a situation where an agent, Jonathan Kuminga's agent, is literally talking like about the situation so much to these outlets. He had a full sit-down conversation with Anthony Slater a couple of weeks ago. That's just not something you typically see from agents, but it has been nice to understand a little bit of what's been going on behind the curtain. And as I said, we'll learn a lot more over the next couple of days as well. And then moving back to quickly the schedule. This is tough. This is a tough schedule to start the year. Lakers, Denver. Denver, we'll go one by one, I guess. The Lakers, we started in LA, and we have not played the Lakers historically very well over the last couple of seasons. However, we did have a game against them in April that gave me the most confidence I'd had all season going into the playoffs. Lakers were fully healthy. We went in there with Steph and Jimmy, and we dominated. We played a really tough game. The shooting was there, and it ended up being a 10 or a 12-point win, I believe, and one that wasn't too nerve-wracking throughout. But I do think the Lakers adding DeAndre Ayton, a full year with Luka and LeBron, that's a team that's going to be really solid. AR-15 is a guy that I hate playing against because he's so streaky. Nights you'll be watching him, he looks terrible, and then other nights, specifically the nights he plays the Warriors, he goes off. So that'll be a tough game to start the year. But anything can happen on night one. You have no idea what the rotations are going to be. You have no idea what you can expect from your younger guys, maybe a little bit of nerves there. So that will be a fun one on the 21st, just 21 days away. Then next you look at Denver. Denver will probably be, I'll do my official standing predictions sometime in the next couple of weeks. Denver will probably be my prediction to win the West. They are loaded. Again, and losing Russ hurts a little bit, not re-signing Russ, I should say, but he's another guy that is so all over the place that sometimes he'd win you a game and sometimes he'd lose you a game, so I think that'll balance itself out. Re-signing Bruce Brown, adding Cam Johnson, who to me is just a better version of Michael Porter Jr., and those guys look good, so that'll be a tough game as well. That's too tough to start. You don't want to leave to go to Portland on the 24th and be 0-2, but it is a real possibility. Portland, Memphis, Clippers. Portland and Memphis, I feel confident about those 2 wins. Portland, no Dame injury, said he probably won't play throughout the entire year. So the Portland situation, I feel good about that, even though they do have some good young talent. Memphis, again, one of the teams where there's been that rivalry for several years against them, but I feel confident about our roster matching up with them. And then to ending out October before Halloween, Clippers, who knows what that team's going to look like with the Kawhi Leonard drama happening, but they are going to be solid. They've got a fantastic roster. Another unction, you could say, over there. A lot of age over there, a lot of older guys, but they're going to be really, really solid. They've got a deep roster. And then Milwaukee, who knows what they're going to be as well this year. No Dame this year, obviously. Adding Miles Turner, that whole situation, leaving Indiana to go to division rival. I mean, that is a tough decision from Miles Turner, but I see 4-2. I'd love to get through here and go 6-0, but I think we do drop 2 of the 4, Clippers, Milwaukee, Denver, LA. But if we could go into November being 4-2, our schedule eases up a little bit, and I feel really confident about where we're at. I could see us going 6-0. I could see us going 2-4. It just gets to, what is this roster exactly going to look like once things come to fruition on the 21st. I would love to be LA, Denver, Portland, Memphis, LA again, and then Milwaukee. That would be fantastic. But I look at this situation. I want to be reasonable. We're not entirely sure what the rotations are going to look like. But if DeAnthony Melton is here, if Al Horford is here like they will be, if Jonathan Kuminga returns and plays fantastic off the bench as the 6th man, maybe if Moses Moody starts in that 2-guard position, I look at this and I could maybe see 6-0. I could maybe see us being a team that fights for that 1 seed all season long. But I can't tell you, I haven't been this excited for something involving the Warriors in a long time, because the offseason signings I feel so confident about, the roster structure I feel so confident about, and we will have answers on Jonathan Kuminga within the next 36 hours once the qualifying offer is off the table. Seems like that's what he's going to sign, and if he doesn't, a larger contract and a Jonathan Kuminga reunion to the Golden State Warriors sort of inevitable at that point. So Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to turn on notifications to never miss out on a video. So much content coming your guys' way. I've been Houston Bo. You guys have been the fans. Man, this was a fun media day. I cannot wait for the start of the 2025-2026 season. Catch you guys in the next one. And as always, go Dubs. Peace.